Hello and welcome to Strange Stories. It's great to have you here. We are all about sharing stories of near-death experiences from around the world in the hopes of bringing some light and inspiration to your day. Our daily videos offer a glimpse into what lies beyond this life, and we believe that they can help us all appreciate the gift of life a little bit more. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue to grow. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you with us again. So go ahead, grab a cozy blanket, get comfy, and join us for today's incredible near-death experience story. When I was 15 years old, I resided on Coronado Island in Southern California. I used to sneak to the beach frequently without my mom noticing. I would tell her that I planned to meet up with pals after exploring the island on foot. One of these days was the day I had my NDE. I belonged to the swim team and was a skilled swimmer who felt well at home in the water. My mother didn't like the idea of me going to the beach by myself, but I thought she was being overly careful. I mean, I was a fantastic swimmer. California experienced a rather sizable earthquake in the Pacific Ocean off its coast the day before my NDE. As the only thing we had experienced on land was a little earthquake, most people didn't give it much thought. For us, earthquakes were just a part of life as long as the structures didn't tremble violently. I went swimming at the beach the day after the earthquake. It was a lovely day. I checked the Life Fair Tower as I normally did to see how the swimming conditions were. A green flag denotes excellent behavior, a yellow one, caution, and a red one for no swimming. It was yellow today. The waves did appear to be a little rough, but I knew I could manage them. I enjoyed diving under each wave as it rolled toward me as I swam out through the surf. I got swept up in a riptide after some time spent swimming. I had experienced this numerous times previously, so I was prepared. I turned around and went a little distance out to the sea before beginning to swim perpendicular to the shore. I did this to avoid the tide, which was preventing me from returning to the coast. But this time, something was off. The riptide kept going. I was being dragged out to the sea further. I attempted to reach out and touch the ocean's bottom at this time, but I was unsuccessful. I watched it fade away from me into the distance as I was facing the shore. At the same moment, I rotated my body and witnessed the biggest wave I'd ever seen. I had no time at all to respond. My body plummeted head over heels for what felt like minutes as the waves struck me directly in the face. My bottom landed on the ocean floor, and the current kept me immobile and locked there in a seated position. Once the current let go, I instantly lifted off the floor and headed toward the surface for air. My lungs were already burning at this point. I was finally ready to break the surface when another wave hit with an equal ferocity. Once more, I fell head over heels and lost all sense of direction. I thought I was swimming upward, when in fact I was swimming downward. My hands crashed into the sand in agony. My lungs were now frantically burning, and I was in excruciating pain. I pushed off the ocean floor once more, only to be met a third time by a current that was so strong that it held me in place. I felt my body got weak as I sat there unable to move, so I let go and inhaled the water. I instantly drowned and passed away. Then all of a sudden, all was pure white, replacing the total blackness. That was a white so stark that it shouldn't have been able to see me. The brightness began to fade as my eyes accustomed to the light, and I could see images. I was alone myself, strolling along a stunning white sand beach. Beautiful trees and flowers could be seen in the distance. I suddenly recalled what had transpired on the home shore's ocean floor. I asked myself, did I die? I was about to say something when I heard a voice and sensed a presence. Unexpectedly, a man appeared to my left. He was a grown man of unfathomable age. He may as well have been 20 or 40. His hair was really short and all white. His was a silken texture. He had a neatly groomed, half-long beard on his face that looked silky soft. It's crucial that you understand that he didn't appear until he got my approval. It is quite challenging to describe. He had spoken to me first, and after that, we had decided that he would show up. Our discussion got going. I asked him whether I was dead, and he said simply, Yes, you are. We didn't speak to one another at all. Everything was thought out in advance. It would be hard for me to remember every word that was said because they were being exchanged so quickly. He made me feel incredibly welcome and safe. He reassured me that he was there to help and gave me peace. He asked me if I still wanted to live, and I answered immediately and without having to consider. He grinned as if he knew I would say that. I don't know why, but I received the impression that we were old friends and that he found it amusing because he already knew the answer. I inquired whether he could assist me in returning. I was made to realize that while he couldn't intervene, he could only confirm what I already knew. I suddenly felt like I was being pushed upward or inward rather than away from that sunny beach. Really, I have no idea. My body was floating in a pitch black, empty area when I stopped. My life review then abruptly appeared before my eyes. I lived each instant of my life as if it were a sequence of photographs arranged in the shape of a serpent in space. I went in reverse once I reached the earliest memory of this life. I could hear him exclaim, "Now, located," as I quickly reviewed my life. I came to a halt thinking about one particular recollection from when I was 8 years old. I was once more swimming in the surf at Coronado Beach, but this time I was there with my family. Unbeknownst to us, a man was body surfing right by us in the water. I was astonished to see him surfing using only his body and no board. I asked if he could demonstrate for me. He clarified that you kick as hard as you can when swimming freestyle until the wave is practically on you. After gaining speed, you arch your back and pull your arms to your sides. Then you take the wave back to land. That day, I tried my hardest, but I was never successful. I gave up and never tried again after that day. I returned to that memory after going back in time and hearing the white-bearded man speak once again. "You have it. Put it to use," he commanded. It was obvious that I needed to use this memory to protect myself. I just went along with it. I had no choice, given the circumstances. I immediately regained consciousness at the ocean's bottom, where I had previously passed away. I used an unexpected surge of strength while still in excruciating pain to push off the ocean floor once more in the direction of the surface. This time, I didn't consider breathing or attempting to get well. Instead, as soon as I hit the water's surface, I started swimming freestyle and kicking as hard as I could. I didn't give up after being hit by that massive wave. As I was unable to kick or swim any longer, I drew my arms to my sides and arched my back high. Even so inelegantly, my body shot in the direction of the coast. I stood up in shoulder-high water as the waves subsided and moved towards the shore. A red flag was waving when I raised my head to gaze at the lifeguard tower. A lifeguard arrived to help me reach the beach as I made my way through the water toward the coast. I was fatigued, attempting to breathe while coughing up a small bit of water as I sat there in the damp sand. The lifeguard added, "That was the most magnificent thing I've ever seen," as soon as I started to calm down. He claimed that, especially in the kinds of conditions present now, they are educated not to enter the water until they can see the victim. He claimed to have been keeping an eye on me up until the first wave knocked me under. I vanished for at least 6 to 7 minutes, according to what he told me. He claimed to have seen me fly out of the water like a torpedo with my limbs aflame just as he was going to seek more assistance. It was incredibly unprofessional, but it kept me alive. Later, I learned that what occurred on the beach was referred to as aftershock waves. The day following my NDE, I watched the news and learned about these waves. Over 17-foot tidal waves were reportedly present. The ripple that was caused by the earthquake off the shore affected me forever. It took me several weeks before I was able to swim once more. I would get hyperventilation when I attempted to take a bath. Worse were the showers. It appeared as though my body had its own mind. I was able to get over my fear with some time. The amusing aspect of the entire affair is that I can now body surf expertly. My NDE is this. Some people might find the body surfing thing cheesy, but keep in mind that this is a true experience that happened to me, and that changed me forever. I was shown how to live and save myself. I was ultimately saved by the one life experience that my 15-year-old mind could recall. Several answers to questions I can't even remember were discussed throughout my talk with my bearded friend. In the end, all I know is that God exists and life continues after death. Period. I was given the go-ahead to live since I still had a purpose in this life. What that is, I'm still trying to figure out.